Today is Sunday, March 22nd, and what I'm going to do is take a look at our poetry book, Northern Paganism, the first and second series. This is the one that's in print. It's still on back order. We should be getting that anywhere between the next 2 to 5 days if things aren't deviated because of all of the other things going on right now. So we'll see. Hopefully we should have that. So as soon as we get it, we're going to be sending it out. Now, with this book, what I want to point out here is I'm getting a little glare from the phone, but this mountain right here is in the Adirondack mountain range. That is Nipple Top, and then back in here in the distance you have Macomb, and then over here you have Dick's Mountain. This here is Hunter's Pass. Now there's a zoomed out picture of that on page 43 of this book with the title of The Hunt and the Heroes. I've already got this poem that I'm going to read today as I made it into a song, strummed my guitar with some chords. It's on YouTube, but I wanted to explain this book a little bit because this mountain range right here in the Adirondack Mountains of upstate New York, that is the view that my wife grew up seeing on a daily basis. So these poems are not only from the north, they are imbued with a northern spirit, a northern pagan spirit. And when I met my wife as my girlfriend, I'd see those mountains practically daily every time we'd get together. So on page 31, I have this poem. It's called Visions of Fall. I see orange, red, and gold, with groves of green on mountains old. Days get short and nights grow long. To live elsewhere, my soul feels wrong. White-tailed deer and pattern V, this is our land, we are country. To walk land where elk once roamed, with moose and wolf, that is my home. Mighty bear or mountains howl, joined in chorus by wolf and owl. Upon the ground, blankets white, peaceful and pure these silent nights. See the yew now dense with snow, each limb of birch within the groves. Days got short and nights grew long, holy Northland where I belong. Now, what I have been saying when I have been advertising these books with picture posts and so on is that the table of contents provides additional description. So that's what I want to show now. If we go to the table of contents for that poem and we look under Visions of Fall, as noted in the 1884 book, The Mammals of the Adirondack Region, Northeastern New York, by Clinton Hart Merriam, MD, pages 143 and 144. Quote, Note 2, that the American elk, or wapiti, Cervus canadensis, was at one time common in the Adirondacks, there is no question. A number of their antlers have been discovered, the most perfect of which that I have seen is in the possession of Mr. John Constable. It was found in a bog on Third Lake of Fulton Chain in Herkimer County. When the species was exterminated here is not known. Dr. Decay, writing in 1842, states, quote, the stag is still found in the state of New York, but very sparingly, and will doubtless be extirpated before many years. Mr. Beach, an intelligent hunter on the Racket, that's the Racket Lake area, assured me that in 1836 he shot at a stag, or as he called it, an elk, on the north branch of the Saranac. He had seen many of the horns and described this one as much larger than the biggest buck. That would be the Cervus virginianus, with immense long and rounded horns, with many short antlers. His account was confirmed by another hunter, Vaughan, who killed a stag at nearly the same place. They are found in the northwestern counties of Pennsylvania and the adjoining counties of New York. In 1834, I am informed by Mr. Philip Church, a stag was killed at Bolivar, Allegheny County. My informant saw the animal, and his description corresponds exactly with this species, and that's the end of both quotes. I continue. On pages 42 of the same book, the author confirms wolves were quite abundant and hunting in packs. On page 138, the author discusses moose. Dr. Decay, quote, Dr. Decay in his Zoology of New York said of these animals, they are, this is an opening of another quote within that quote, they are yet numerous in the unsettled portions of the state, in the counties of Essex, Herkimer, Hamilton, Franklin, Lewis, and Warren, end quote. On page 95 of the same book, the author only addresses black bear and states, quote, his proper home is within the deep evergreen forests, but he is something of a rover, and at certain seasons, particularly in autumn, makes numerous excursions into the surrounding country, end quote. These evergreen forests are the Ýdalir in Old Norse. There are three which howl in our holy northern lands, our ancestral bear, the wolf, and the owl. Owl and howl are etymologically of the same origin. They come from the Aryan root ul, to howl. Ul is the howler. Reference number 3 above. Ýdalir heither thars Ullr. So, I referenced the number 3 poem above, which is the table of contents, Midgard or Mithgarth Spirits, and that poem is on page 30. I won't be reading that one. In that reference, I state, Mithgarth in Old Norse means middle, mith, fence, garth. Mithgarth is not earth. It is the green groves of yew trees of the Boreal Forest and seen on elevations of northern high peaks. The yew tree is the heathen holy tree. Voluspo 27 states, Heathvonum helium bothmi. Heathvonum means heathen, hath, plus hope, expectation, vonum. Helium is holy, bothmi is tree. And the groves which they form are the holy lands of the north. Grimnismal 4 and 5. Land is helat. Land is holy. Ýdalir heither thars Ullr. Called Ýdales there, which the howler, ul, our bear, is raised. The accented Y in Old Norse is pronounced like the American English long O. Ooh. So that is how we have our poetry book set up. And this is both poetry books combined, the first poetry book and the second poetry book. So the table of contents gives extra insight and meaning to the poems that are written.